Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. Let's dive into a tale of retail chaos where our OP, a cashier at Target, faces a meltdown over a very simple policy. But before we begin, best way to support our channel is to leave comments, like, and subscribe with the turned-on bell so you don't miss the new video every single day. Here we go. Customer throws a fit over ID check. I work as a cashier at Target, and our Target sells alcohol. If a customer is purchasing alcohol, we have to ask the customer for their ID and scan it, or if they look older than the drinking age, we ask for their date of birth and type it into the system. We don't have the option to skip this. It surprises a lot of customers, but most of them laugh it off and give me their ID to scan it. 2 days ago, I was helping this customer with his purchase. He was definitely older than 30. Once I scanned the alcohol, I apologized and asked if I could see his ID. He looked up at me and asked, "What? I need to see your ID since you're purchasing alcohol." "Really? Why do I need to show you that?" His tone wasn't harsh or angry, so I assumed he was jokingly asked that, like other customers have in the past. I know it's silly, but the system needs me to scan your ID when it comes to alcohol. "I'm not going to show you that." At this point, I'm confused, but I move on. "Can you tell me your date of birth then?" "No, I'm not going to give you my personal information." Then I realized that he's not joking. He's actually seriously offended by this. I laugh it off nervously and motion to the screen. "I'm sorry, sir, but Target won't let you purchase alcohol otherwise. Get your manager. I want to see where it says that on the policy." I nod and nervously walk over to the return counter to ask my coworker to call for the manager. She comes shortly afterwards, and I walk over to listen. "This young lady," he pointed at me, "asked for my date of birth. It felt intentional, like he was leaving out the fact that he was purchasing alcohol to make it seem like I was trying to get personal information out of customers for my own gain." I pointed at the screen in response to show the manager why. The manager looked at the screen, saw it was asking for an ID/date of birth for alcohol, then realized what the situation was. She had to explain to him that it's the law in our state to ID everyone buying alcohol, regardless of their age, and that's why Target implemented it into the system, and that she can't do anything about it. He shouted, "I'm 70. I ain't never been asked to show my ID, nor do I gotta. I'm a grown butt man." And he basically threw a tantrum while all my coworkers watched. I moved back to let the manager handle it, so I couldn't hear the conversation well. But I knew she was mostly repeating herself and trying to get that information through his thick skull. He finally listened and reluctantly paid, and from what I heard from another coworker, he was too paranoid to pay with card. My coworkers were asking if I was okay because they know I easily get overwhelmed, but I just burst into laughter once he left, then helped another customer shortly afterwards. Didn't he think I'm 70 was his ticket to getting around the rules? The drama around getting ID'd at Target is bizarre and entertaining. Imagine throwing a tantrum because someone's obeying corporate policy and state law at work. Making it sound like you were doing some secret data mining by asking for his birth date's even more ludicrous. "Sir, no one's trying to steal your identity in the beer checkout line." You did well to stay calm and chuckle. The fact that he refused to pay with the card as if to avoid some fictitious plan clinched the deal on this comedy. Your shift should have gone better. And our second story. Banned from a generous Christmas event. So my aunt, who will now be referred to as Aunt M, is the director of an organization for young girls. The organization includes after-school care and summer camp. I was a part of that summer camp when I was a little girl, but I digress. Frankly, to say, my aunt is very passionate about her job. Not only is she interactive with the girls, but she also goes out of her way to plan events and uses them as a fundraiser for the organization. There's one fundraiser she holds every year, minus COVID in 2021, that a lot of girls and women sign up for. I've been a part of it too, and it's really fun. She's been like a second mother to me since I often stayed at her house a lot growing up until I graduated high school, and also because I was close to her 2 daughters who I grew up with. I can go on and on how much of an amazing woman Aunt M is, but we'll be here for hours if I do. During Christmas 2023, Aunt M decided to hold a Christmas thing at her warehouse It included giving out items to people less fortunate who don't have the money to get stuff. This also included kitchenware and exercise equipment. All these items were free, by the way. It was the first time she held this certain event. Aunt Em explained that for the most part, the event went really well and a lot of grateful people were happy with what they got. However, there was one woman, not so much. We'll call this woman Sharon. According to Aunt Em, Sharon was hostile from the beginning. She was getting her items for free, mind you, and she was complaining how she wasn't getting more. At one point, Sharon said to Aunt Em that she recognizes her and got on her case. She also then called Aunt Em a bee. Aunt Em then went on to say to Sharon how she'd been aggressive since she showed up to the warehouse and that she was getting these items for free. She also told Sharon how she was doing this on her free time, and this isn't something that she has to do but chooses to. Despite all this, when I asked Aunt Em if Sharon still got all her items, she said she did, which surprised me. I would think if somebody talked to me like that and called me a bee, she could just leave her things and leave. However, Aunt Em said that she plans on doing the warehouse thing next Christmas, but Sharon's now banned from coming back. I'm sorry if it's vague, but I'm only explaining from what I remember Aunt Em explaining to me. But really though, some people can be so entitled, even getting their things for free. Wow, Sharon really brought a whole new level of audacity, didn't she? Imagine walking into a place where someone's literally giving away items for free out of the kindness of their heart and on their own time, and having the gall to not only complain but to escalate to outright hostility. Your Aunt Em sounds like an incredible person, both for organizing this event and for keeping her cool under such ridiculous behavior. Honestly, the fact that Sharon still got to keep her items is a testament to your aunt's character. Many people would have tossed her out the moment the insults started flying, and honestly, no one would have blamed them. Banning her from next year's events, more than fair, and frankly, Sharon's lucky she got what she did. I hope next year's event is filled with grateful, deserving people who appreciate your aunt's efforts. She deserves nothing less. And our last story. Karen kept stealing my EV charger. My neighbor and I share a driveway. I own my house, but the neighboring house is a rental. For years, things were fine. The previous tenants were nice enough, and we got along well. But then, about 6 months ago, Karen and her boyfriend moved in. And let me tell you, life has not been the same since. Let's start with the basics. Karen's the kind of person who thinks the world revolves around her. She throws obnoxious parties, leaves trash everywhere, and lets her friends park in the driveway without a second thought. On more than one occasion, I've walked outside to find my car blocked in, forcing me to call a tow truck just to get to work. But the real problem started when Karen set her sights on my electric car charger. Last year, I bought an electric car and paid to have a charger installed on my side of the driveway. It wasn't cheap, but it was worth it for the convenience. At first, it wasn't an issue. The previous tenants had asked politely to use it for their guests once or twice, and I was happy to help. But Karen, she decided that my charger was now her charger. The first time I noticed something was off, I walked outside to find my car unplugged and Karen's car happily charging in its place. Confused, I knocked on her door. Me, hey, I noticed you unplugged my car to charge yours. Can you not do that? This is my charger and I need it for my commute. Karen, smirking, oh, our landlord said the charger comes with the house. It's included in our lease. Me, in disbelief, no, it doesn't. I paid for that charger and it's connected to my electricity. It's not part of the property. Karen, well, we share the driveway, so it's basically shared property. You should let us use it. I thought I'd made myself clear, but apparently not. Over the next few weeks, I kept catching them using the charger without permission. One day, I walked outside to find Karen's boyfriend unplugging my car again. Me, seriously, stop using my charger. This is stealing electricity. Karen's boyfriend laughing, relax, dude. It's just a little power. What's the big deal? The big deal, aside from the fact that they were racking up my electric bill, there were days when I couldn't charge my car because theirs was hogging the charger. And when I unplugged their car and plugged mine back in, Karen stormed over, pounding on my door like a lunatic. Karen, you can't just unplug our car. That's illegal. Me, it's not your charger. Karen, it's on shared property. We have every right to use it. At that point, I realized talking to her was useless, So I called the police. Unfortunately, they weren't much help. It's a civil matter, they told me. You'll have to take it up with your HOA or the landlord. Great. Since the police weren't going to step in, I decided to take matters into my own hands. I paid to have the charger moved inside my garage where Karen couldn't access it. Problem solved, right? Wrong. The next morning, Karen came outside, saw the charger was gone, and completely lost her mind. She stomped over to my house and started banging on the door. Karen, where's the charger? You can't just take it. Me, actually I can, it's mine. Karen, you're withholding something that was part of the property. That's theft. Before I could respond, Karen stormed off. I thought that was the end of it, but a few hours later, 2 police officers showed up at my door. Officer, we received a report of stolen property. Can we speak with you? I explained the situation, showed them the receipts for the charger and the installation, and even pulled up my electric bills to prove it was connected to my account. The officers quickly realized Karen's claim was baseless. Officer to Karen, ma'am, this charger belongs to your neighbor. It's not part of your rental agreement. Karen, but it was in the driveway. He can't just take it away. Officer, actually he can. And if you continue to make false reports, you could face fines or legal action. Karen turned bright red and stormed back into her house, but not before giving me one last death glare. Now every time she walks past my house, she gives me the dirtiest look imaginable, but I couldn't care less. I haven't had to deal with her stealing my electricity since, and honestly, the look on her face when the police sided with me was worth every penny I spent moving the charger. Karen really thought she hit the jackpot with that charger, didn't she? Imagine moving into a rental, seeing something valuable in the driveway, and suddenly owning it. Not just the gall to use it, but to call the cops when you reclaim your own property? Putting the charger in your garage was brilliant. It cut off their access and left Karen angry and searching for support. I laughed at her audacious outburst and how her call to the police backfired. Really, your patience is admirable. Sharing a driveway is hard enough without someone treating your possessions like communal property. Since you handled this well, I hope her retaliation is only death glares. Standing firm and witnessing entitlement collapse is sometimes the best karma. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.